We have survived another year in a medical school dungeon. These are some helpful tips and strategies that you can utilize for your medical school career, whether you're first year or whether you're a pre-med that's looking into and applying to medical school. First and foremost, and I wish someone told me this, is that you have to be okay with change and you have to be okay with adaptability. Your study strategy is going to change so many times, it is not funny. You're going to have moments of doubt, you're going to have moments of concern that your study strategy isn't working well, you're not getting the grades that you wanted to see. Why is Anki working for this person but not for me? Why is Pathoma working for that person but not for me? Why is Sketchy working for that person but not for me? And it is okay. It just means that you're human, and it means that your study strategy is something that you're gonna have to learn to adapt over time. This is a completely different rigor from when you were like an undergrad, or even if you did like a master's degree like myself. It's completely different rigor and ball game where it's just going to be you versus you in the entire process, as corny as it sounds. But have grace that throughout this time, you will ultimately become a highly successful student just by learning from your failures and your mistakes and being able to grow through this process, not beat yourself down through this process. Second, if you're anything like me, so I have severe ADHD, where essentially I can't look at just like a card on Anki and be able to actually apply that information. I'll be able to memorize a card or the facts or anything that's like associated to it, but the moment I actually need to use recall and actively apply that information into a clinical vignette, I was not able to. I actually got a gem from one of my mentors in medical school who basically stated that you need to do a mind map. You just need to do a mind dump. So instead of just passively looking through like a textbook or something, I would actually write down a concept and just write out anything I know that related to it, whether it was pharmacology or whether it was histology, or whether that was pathology. I would just need to connect everything in one bubble. Instead of writing fine detail for every single thing you learn, focus on the bigger picture and how will this actually apply to a patient? Why do you want me to know this information? My third big tip is to start practice questions early. I've noticed that my grades improved vastly when I would look at a lecture one time, then I would do a brain dump. What was in there? What was important? And then lastly, I would follow that up with practice questions, whether they were provided through my school, other medical schools, or even online resources such as Bootcamp, UWorld, you name it. I would utilize external resources so that I was able to actually have that concrete memory. In the process, when you're doing practice questions, you're going to get a lot of them wrong, and that's part of the actual process. When people begin taking UWorld for their STEP exams and their complex exams and so forth, they realize, dang, I am scoring so low, this is embarrassing. Did I learn anything? The truth is, as part of the learning process, you're supposed to go through things that are a little bit painful so that you can say like, hey, I actually do not understand this information. Let me dive into this deeper. And in this process, your brain is actually making mental notes of something that was a little bit painful for you to not actually have the answers, and being able to say like, okay, well, I won't have this happen again. You can actually learn that information so that when the real thing comes, whether that's board exams, whether that's medical school exams, you will actually excel. I've noticed the highest achievers in my school, as well as other medical schools who are performing very well in exams and even in boards, they all have one thing in common. They began taking practice exams early and practice questions early. So they were able to identify, what am I actually weak in? What do I actually understand? So they weren't wasting time with things that they knew very well. They were only focused on the things that were going to hurt their grade or their understanding. Medical school is a marathon and not a sprint. So be okay with the process, enjoy the process, and love yourself going through this process.